This is a Engineering Resumes Wiki Part 1, and I'm here to review it, as was requested. So, what is a resume? Yep, that's good. I think that's actually important to have. I know a lot of people know what a resume is, but you never know if somebody just doesn't understand what a resume is, especially if they're new in the job search. Describe what happens once it's submitted, what the hiring process looks like. Yep. General rules. So there's a lot. They want single column layout, which is correct. You always want single column layout. I don't think I've ever seen a resume with more than one column that I liked. They want to make sure that it's easy to read. Correct. Avoid icons, images, and graphics. Yep. They don't always parse, and it's just not necessary. This is more technical than I think they need for me right now. I think these are fine. Use bullet points. Yep. Although not paragraphs, I think that's correct. I personally prefer Arial. That's my favorite, but honestly, that's fine if you use the others. 2.5 is correct, not thin. Don't justify your text. Okay. Ensure you have enough white space. Yeah, you want to make sure too much not white space and it's hard to read. Skills using commas. Yep. This is the part I disagree with. Actually, yeah, this part in particular is, I don't think you need a page per decade. I think a more accurate presumption of a resume is you want to make sure the most accurate keywords and skills are up towards the top, regardless of whether it is half a page to 4 pages long. And the reason I say that is because sometimes managers in general, some of them, like longer resumes. Not like crazy long, but the recruiters don't, and you don't want somebody to look at your resume, read the first paragraph, and then not find out your relevant skills that are 3 paragraphs deep. So you can have a longer resume, and again, I think that is okay, but make sure, and I think a more important thing is, people are usually only going to read the top half. So make sure what's important is in the top half. This is also correct. Don't want it too bold, otherwise it looks weird and hard to read. Include relevant and technical details to showcase your qualifications. Yep. Okay, so this part I have a slight counterpoint is you're not supposed to, candidates get the idea that they're supposed to distinguish themselves, that they need to look heads and tails better than everybody, that they need to be raise their hand and shout "I'm here," and that's not correct. It feels like that because, well, obviously it does. You're shouting into the void, but really it is a form at the DMV. So I don't think this is the correct mindset for a resume. Is like a marketing tool, because I've seen plenty of phenomenal marketers who just don't get positions because they treat it like marketing and not a form. It is a government form. I mean, it's not a government form, but you need to treat it like a government form. And then mention the star, car, XYZ, bullet points later. Provide context, incorporate relevant keywords. 100% yes. Yep. I think they should repeat this twice and bold it, because this is arguably the most important thing. Above brags, above years of experience even, you need the keywords. The keywords are critical. They are the key to you getting hired. This is correct in most cases. There's some slight, as with most things in recruiting, there's never going to be 100%, but in most cases, you don't want to add in unnecessary information. I think maybe every once in a while it can be beneficial, though very rarely, to have like a likes and what's the name of it? A volunteer, although that should usually be at the very, very bottom, so that if they're reading that far, then they'll see it. Top and to the left of the resume. Yeah, correct. Honestly, 30-second elevator pitch is the right idea, but realistically, it's probably more like 15 seconds. But these are all correct. Increase the amount. Yep, so you can include more. That's good. Prevent your resume from being a wall of text. Yep. Keep it to 1 page. Again, I disagree on this one, but that's fine. That's one of the ones. It's the 1-page one I disagree with, because it is Multiple pages can be beneficial for more of the managers, just not for recruiters, and you want to have both. Don't need a second page. This is accurate because a lot of them are entry level, and if you are entry level, you probably don't want to have more than one page. Let's see. Technical content. I kind of disagree with that. There is a lot of stuff that can take longer depending on your industry, but this is specifically to engineers. So for engineers, yeah. Hey, Moonbites, what's the link to this post? This is their actual resume format. I'm a mod on this, and the head mod, who has been forever kind and gracious to me, wanted me to review it, which I agree, to be clear, with like 78 to 90% of it. There's just a couple of nitpicks I have, but they wanted me to go over it, along with some of the other mods. So this is correct in that the recruiters are going to spend less time in reading longer resumes. Managers have been known to read like a page or two and they enjoy it. So once they actually get the candidate. Also, Moonbites, welcome to the channel. Let me know if you have any recruiting questions. I'm here to answer them. As we keep stressing, the goal is to make your resume easy to read as possible. Yep, they can repeat this a billion times. This is one of the key things. If you're having trouble doing this with one page, removing content, even if it's technical, I think a bigger issue is candidates are not aware of what is relevant to the hiring process. So, but that's not something I've really seen a lot of people talk about. They always talk about keywords, but not how to find them. That's why I made that little graph thing that I want to finish to show people how the hell you're supposed to actually do that. If you decide to go with the second page, you should be positioned to consider for senior staff roles. I mean, if you have like 3 to 4 years of experience, you could probably do a page and a half. But let's see, formatting, easily skimmable, yes. Easily parsable by a resume tracking system. Depending on what they mean by this could be incorrect, because humans review your resume, and as long as it's in Word or PDF format, it will work. Although getting a resume to correctly parse is going to be a nightmare because ATS, HRMSs just don't do that. First off, Moonbites it's going to be entirely determined by how do you overcome job gaps in a resume. Job gaps are not as much of a deal breaker as candidates want them to seem. They're not great. I don't want to like minimize it, but like they're not that terrible. But yeah, parsable by an ATS, depending on what this means, they could be correct or not. So recommended templates, they got the templates, and I've seen them. They're pretty solid. Let's see, use a modern, easy to read font. Yep, they repeated that and still prefer Arial. Don't use gray colors. Yep, stick to black. Yep, resume should be black and white. Don't justify. Yep, these seems correct. You can bold keywords in with your bullet points, but I think it's more viable to have not that because so many people do it wrong. I've seen very, very, very few resumes that do bolding correctly to the point where I suggest everybody just not bold. So, let's see. This should be close to ending for part 1. So, Italia's yep, don't indent, separate your sections. Yep, alright, so that is part 1 of the review of the Wiki, and I agree, like I said, with most of it. So,